Hello and welcome to this lesson on the three primary punches that we're going to teach you in the Uechi-Ryu system. And we're an Okinawan system, and so Okinawan karate has a specific way of teaching, and so we have different fists that we strike with. And so today I'm just going to go over those basic fists with you. They're not basic, actually, they're very advanced. We'll start out with a basic seiken, we'll show you the haraken, and then eventually the shoken. And so these three fists are going to be some of the primary striking fists that we use in all of our techniques in Uechi-Ryu. So the first one is a seiken punch. It's very simple. If you've seen our basic punching video before on how to do a basic front punch without breaking your hand or your wrist or your elbow, that will also go through it. But I just want to review it here today so that you have all these in one place. So again, remember that the seiken fist is going to roll down. You're going to tuck your thumb on the underside, squeezing those fingers into the palm of your hand as hard as you can, and then tucking that thumb on the outside, making sure that it's nice and it's tough. Because if you punch and you hit something and your thumb actually comes in contact with it, if it's not tucked in tight and squeezed in tight, you can risk either spraining your thumb right through here especially, or even breaking that knuckle. So you want to make sure that you're squeezing your thumb tight. The other thing about squeezing your hand is it's going to form these knuckles right here as your striking point, okay? Not with your hand halfway out like that. This poor form, okay? Not enough squareness to your hand. What you want is you want your hand to square up, okay? You want this to be as flat as possible so that when you strike with those two knuckles. Okay, striking with those two knuckles right there. That's what you're striking with. So again, just making sure you squeeze your hand tight, form that square of your hand the best you can, that 90-degree angle from the top of your hand down to the knuckles, making sure these knuckles are pulled in tight by squeezing your hand tight, and tuck that thumb underneath. I've seen so many injuries where people punch and they just kind of leave that thumb out a little bit like that. It doesn't take much. You want to tuck it under, squeeze tight, and then you have a nice hard punch. That's the seiken punch. The other, one of the other strikes that we do a lot is called a haraken. A haraken is really designed after the tiger. The tiger is one of the primary animals of Uechi-Ryu, and so this is a tiger paw. And if you look at it, it looks kind of like a tiger paw if you look at the paw from underneath. This particular technique is designed to take all of the power from this front punch here and actually make a wedge with your hand so that when you strike something, you wedge in between it, okay? Designed to go in between the ribs, in between the jawbone and the cranium, designed to strike the temple area. There's a lot of the sides of the neck. There's a lot of areas where this technique is particularly effective. And so the way you're going to do this is you're just going to basically curl it down like you would when you get ready to make a fist, but putting your fingers up a little bit higher. You can put your thumb all the way across and then fold your fingers will kind of form around your thumb this way. So when you make that strike, you're going to have your thumb is going to be kind of rounded like that, all right? And this is going to come down, and then these knuckles will fold in around that, all right? So you're squeezing in tight, squeezing all this in tight as you can, like here's your focus point. You're squeezing all that in tight, and these are going to be your striking points, all right? You're going to strike with that coming across, and when you strike, again, it's designed to spread open and drive through. It's a wedge strike. So this is the haraken, and you'll see this when we do blocks and strikes. Okay, we'll do some different techniques like that, but you also see it in our kata as well. The last one that I want to show you today is one of the ones that is well known in the Uechi-Ryu system. This is called the shoken punch. The shoken is a devastating punch. And once you learn how to do this particular technique, you probably won't strike with any other punch, because what you're going to do with this particular technique is you're going to learn how to take, if you know physics, you're going to learn how to take, well, even if you don't know physics, but if you know physics, you'll understand what I'm about to say. You're going to take all the power from this punch, all right? All of this area is hitting. Whatever you strike, that's coming into contact, all of this area, right? What you're going to do is take all of the power and all of the focus and everything from that particular strike, and you're going to make a thumb, or you're going to make a point with your finger, and that is going to be your striking point right there. So all of this all of this power, all of this contact into just one, kind of like a bullet, right? So a bullet's going to come in. Bullets aren't flat for the most part. They're pointed, and so they're designed to penetrate their target. We are doing the same thing with the Shokin punch. And so the Shokin, I'm going to make it very similar to your Seiken punch. You're going to roll your fingers down. This finger is going to stay up a little bit, but when you tuck it, it's going to tuck in behind. So this finger, this thumb is going to be right here. These fingers close in, and this finger tucks in right behind it. So you're squeezing down with this finger and in. So you're squeezing it all together here. And then this thumb is going to push against the front finger right here, against the middle finger. And so that's what it's going to look like. That's the inside, your front side, and the back side of the Shokin. It doesn't stick out much, but it's enough to penetrate whatever you're striking, and you'll drive right through that target, okay? There's a lot of different places that we do this particular technique, and you'll learn that as you go through your training. But for right now, I just want you to know that this is a Shokin punch, primarily designed in the Okinawan styles. You'll see it some in Goju-Ryu and a couple of the other Okinawan styles, but Uechi-Ryu is one of the styles that uses this particular strike almost exclusively in our advanced kata. And so you'll see this Shokin strike a lot, all right? So again, there it is, formed, thumbs in, finger in tight, squeezing that hand tight, making sure that your knuckle is nice and tight. All these fingers are tight. You can see that all my fingers are tight. I'm squeezing in tight. So when I strike, if I come into contact with something else, other part of my hand, it's not going to break my fingers or my thumb. But if I strike correctly and I come into contact with my target with this particular strike, this is where I want the penetration to hit first. All right, right there on the tip of that Shokin strike. All right, Shokin is the one knuckle punch. All right, remember it's done in the first finger, not some crazy thing like this where you're trying to stick your where you're trying to stick your middle finger out and make that same kind of a movement, because there's nothing here to protect it or to support it. When you do the Shokin strike, you've got the thumb tucked in, and now you've got a strong support. So when you strike, you're going to strike in, you're going to get that punch driving in with that Shokin. All right, get a solid punch. All right, so again, Seiken punch, square punch, pretty easy. All right, Haraken, formed in a semicircle with the fingers tucked in around it. And then the Shokin. Shokin is one knuckle strike here, flat, tucked in, thumbs tucked in. And you should have a rise in you should have some of your first finger sticking out just like that for the first knuckle. So again, Seiken punch, Haraken punch, Shokin punch. All right, those are your three punches, primary punches that we use in our kata. And as you go through your training, you're going to learn where to use those particular strikes, how to use those particular strikes. And as you advance up, we'll show you more and more techniques with those particular punches. So again, practice that. You can do those anywhere, right? Again, train and practice anywhere you are, just making your fists, getting your body used to knowing how to make those different fists each and every time. So again, it's always to your success that we give you these free training videos. We hope that you'll take advantage of it. If you want to do more training, you certainly can. Join us over at Karate Academy Online, and you can do all of your training anywhere at any time. And we take you all the way through black belt over there and beyond. And so we'll advance these techniques for you and show you exactly how to use those in our different katas and our different self-defense techniques. So again, it's always to your success. Take care, and we'll see you at the top.